So welcome everybody to already our fourth installment of the COVID-19 Zoom series of My Métier from Klauner.com. We're very proud to welcome today our partner from Stabilus, a very famous brand everybody has heard of, but actually very little is known about the tiny little products that they're making. So that's why we have Anne here today to tell us more about the company. So welcome Anne once more and tell us who is Stabilus.
Thank you very much for joining. Yeah, Stabilus, we are founded in Germany in 1934, and we did not start to produce or to develop gas springs at the very first beginning. We started with stabilizers, which are called shock absorber for the moment, for the road handling of a car. During the 60s, we were the first producer which produced gas springs in a serious production. So there our real history started, let me say. Over the years, we developed a lot of other products like our electronic lid systems, which you can find in most of the new cars like BMW X3, Audi Q5, whatever. So the tailgates are opening by themselves if you push a button or put your feet under a sensor. Mm-hmm. During the last years, we had some milestones because we bought new companies to increase our industrial portfolio. For example, ACE, Hahn, Fabrica Tech Products, which are completing our industrial portfolio in regards to vibration handling and opening and closing mechanism.
Okay, cool. I brought some of your products over here.
One.
Yeah, so yeah. Those are the small ones that we use here for our track and trailer applications.
Yeah.
I think, tell me again, how many of those are used in a normal bus, you say?
We do have around 100 gas springs inside one bus. 100
gas springs, wow. Yeah. So how can I tell our guys that they don't have to go around and looking for 100 numbers on each of the gas springs? Did you think there are 100 different ones on each bus?
No. For example, if we are talking about the bus seats, there are lockable gas springs inside each bus seat to move the backrest. So you push a button and then you can move your backrest. And in all the seats are the same lockable gas springs. So that how many seats are in a bus? 48, I think. Yeah. So that means you will find 48, the same 48 pieces in the seats.
Okay, well that's a relief. The same with curtain siders. We sell also these small gas springs for the curtain siders of the trailers. Yeah. That's actually one of the most fast moving items that we have. So you also provide those gas springs to companies like Etcha, for example, I guess.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. Correct. So there you have these very little gas springs that everybody uses, everybody takes for granted. But it's very interesting to hear the backstory of such a small product with such a big impact, right? Now I see that you are in your office, which is very good, and I hope that by the 8th and the 10th video, we don't have to talk about COVID anymore, but let me still talk about it. Yeah. So I see that you're back at the office, which is good. And how has your company been handling the whole situation? Have you been back for long? And how is your team coping with this?
We had to work from home for about 12 weeks because our management decided that we are more safe if we work from home. And my colleagues and myself always have the chance to work from home because in general, we are traveling a lot. So that means we are made to work from a hotel, from a restaurant, from an office. So 12 weeks, we stayed at home. We were connected via Zoom or Skype. We felt protected by the company not to get chased to return. Now we define some new regulation inside the company, and since 2 weeks we are allowed to return back in small groups, of course, to keep the distance and not to infect in case too many colleagues.
Okay, well, you say too many colleagues to enable so that we get a bit of more of a feeling for the scope of your company. How many people work for the company, and how many of those in the headquarters in Koblenz?
We do have worldwide about 6,400 employees, and in our headquarter in Koblenz, we are working with 1,600. Of course, most of them are working in our production, but around 400 are working in our office.
Wow. I already have a headache to handle 40, 50 people that are here at Klauner. I cannot start to imagine how tough it must be to organize everything within the sanitary restrictions now within COVID. I guess you had a task force of some sort, some people who were just in charge of dealing with those challenges.
Correct. We created a task force team with our doctor, etc., and they had a look at each working place, if there's space enough, if we need to create some more space, we get some more liquids for our hands. Yeah. Also, there are some things we are still not allowed. For example, we are not allowed to use the kitchen because, if a lot of people are using the same place, the risk to get infected in case is a bit higher. But all in all, we are really safe, and the company really took care for our health, especially in general. I'm traveling a lot. Every week or every second week, if there's no COVID issue. And especially in that case, our company is still protecting us. So we are not chased to fly or to drive and visit the customer. The management still says, stay in the office or stay at home. The time will come. Be patient and try to work with the customer via Zoom like we do now.
Right. Perfect.
And it's working. So
everybody's really been embracing this new technology. Be it Zoom or FaceTime or Skype. I think people have discovered all these new technologies, and maybe that's something positive to take forward for the future, that everything has become a bit more digital, a bit more quickly.
Correct.
Well, we talked about the application, so we already talked about buses, but at Klauner, we don't only carry spare parts for buses, but also for trucks, for trailers, for agriculture, to name three of our main groups. Okay, can you maybe tell us a bit about, except from bus applications, where we can find your gas springs in other applications?
Yeah. So, for example, if we're talking about trucks, there are seat dampers for the driver's seats. There are sometimes beds inside the truck cabin for the driver. There are a lot of small flaps which they can open and close. Maintenance flaps, engine flaps. We do have a lot of application for kitchen. For example, in each kitchen flap, there's a
truck
gas spring inside. In medical application, if you're going to the dentist, for example, and the chair is moving, there are gas springs inside which are supporting during these movements. Inside a tractor, you can open the window and close the window, which is supported by gas springs. Inside a bed, so the new kind of bed where you can open the complete system, there are gas springs inside. Yeah, there are too many applications, but in most of the cases you do not know because you do not see the part itself. It is protected by a cover.
Okay. How closely do you work with the industry or with your customers to really design the gas spring to their needs? Do they give you an idea of what measurements they need and what Newton meter they want, or do you really know what kind of application the gas spring is for, or do you just know the specs?
We know the application, we know the specs, and in most of the cases, we do get the complete application in-house to develop the final part. For example, if we are talking about cars, we are getting the bodies of the new cars to have the chance to develop the gas spring 100% to the car. The same with trucks and buses. We always get a kind of part of the related application to do the installation test and really define a part number for this application.
No, that's really interesting. Seems like a lot of work also for us still to do to really identify where those different gas springs are and what potential there is in the market, and how we can help our customers better to find and source the real product. So I can't wait for you to be able to come physically back to Luxembourg, and maybe we have a chat about it and go visit some customers.
Yeah, it would be great.
Yeah, so at the end of each chat, our traditional question: what do you prefer, truck or trailer?
truck, of course, because I like to work on a project and to be the driver instead of following something like a trailer is doing.
Very, very nice metaphor. Very nice metaphor. I bet you were waiting the whole time to give this answer, right? Very good. Very good one. Very good. So thank you, Anne, for your time on this Thursday evening. I hope I see you very soon. Say hi to the whole team, and thanks for making the time for us.
Thank you. Take care.